about how can you practice your English by yourself, and what are the mistakes that you may do, and what are the tips that you should do to improve your English and to speak English fluently. So for people who are here, do you have any questions to ask Dr. Priscilla? You can type your question in the chat room. Maybe we are gonna discuss your questions. I think that you can hear me, right? Okay, Dr. Priscilla, can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
going to try to go live one more time. If I can't go live, Shima, then we'll just do this on the platform in Zoom only. So if we get that,
Okay.
echo, then I won't be able to go. Shima, I won't be able to go live. We'll just do this.
Maybe we can forget the idea of having live on Facebook and just be here if it's like not easy.
Okay, so you can hear me now, I think. Yes.
Perfect. Yes.
All right, so now we are live. I'm live streaming on my Facebook page, I think.
Okay.
And if I am live streaming on my Facebook page, you can go to my Facebook page and share. If it doesn't show up, we'll just bypass that. And I'm looking on my phone now to see if I can find.
Okay.
I apologize for the delay, but I want to say thank you everyone for showing up. This is truly a pleasure for me to be here today. And I want to say, for those of you who are here, I will have a free gift for each of you just for showing up and participating today. So this is really, really great. Let's see, I'm looking.
Okay, it's amazing. So Dr. Priscilla has some gifts for you for who attended today. Okay, so are you gonna tell us what the gifts are?
No, I like
surprises. Or it's a surprise.
I think people to be surprised and amazed when you get something in your email that there is a gift for you.
So. Okay, so Dr. Priscilla is gonna send you a message on your email, so please check your email. Okay, because she has all your emails, by the way.
Yeah, if you're in this session, I have your email. This is the only way that you were able to get here. I cannot tell you whether we're actually live or not on the Facebook page. So I'm going to go ahead and just talk to you all from Zoom. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much to every one of you for showing up today. Shima gave you a little bit of information about myself, so thank you so much for sharing that. I am a native English.
And thank you for accepting my invitation.
No, it's my pleasure.
Okay.
I want you all to know that there is tremendous power in being on Facebook. It is because Shima saw me on a Facebook page and then invited me to come and speak with you all. So don't miss out on the opportunity to join other Facebook groups, engage in those groups, and participate. How many of you? Okay, I only see one person that's live, which is perfectly fine. But, and I believe that's Ruben.
Okay.
But how many of you are actually participating in a Facebook group, actively participating in a Facebook group? How many of you actively participate in the Facebook group? Could you type that information?
I think everyone.
Well, when I say active, means that you're doing more than typing one word. You're actually talking to people by typing something. You're saying something with your fingers. You're responding to something with your fingers. How many of you can all type something in the chat? So type something in the chat to let me know if you are an active person on Facebook. Then I'm going to ask you.
Okay, so guys, write a long sentence, not a short sentence.
Yeah, maybe 5 words. 5 words. I am active on Facebook. How many of you are active on Facebook? Or I am not active on Facebook. This is going to help you as I talk about what it means to build strategies for being able to speak English when you do not have someone to speak English with in your native country. All right.
I see that most of people are not active using Facebook.
Exactly. So this could be a real concern for why you're not being able to speak English. Now, my next
Mhm.
question, Shima, before I actually start with the interview, I want you
Okay.
all to be participating in this event. Tell me in chat, what are some of your concerns? What are some of your problems? Or what is it that you wish to accomplish in English? I'm waiting for you to actually type something so that I'll have something to interact with. What I want you to do is to type it in the Zoom link, in the Zoom chat, because I can't get to the Facebook page right now.
Mhm.
So please type in chat. I'll be listening or I'll be looking.
Yes.
So while we're doing that, all right, Shima, let's start.
Okay. Summer Noor has a very important question for us, which is why do we have vocab and we know grammar, but when we speak English, it's difficult for us to speak.
Mm,
So do you have any tips for us?
okay, and who is this? Who is this asking?
Summer Noor. Let's say
Summer.
Summer.
Summer,
Yes.
that is a great question. That's a great question. When you have a huge amount of vocabulary,
Mhm.
that is all that you have. You have a huge bank of vocabulary. If you look at the list today, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. At least 25 people are in this group, and I can see their names. I can see all of their
Mhm.
names, but that doesn't really mean anything to me. It doesn't tell me anything. It just tells me that these people have a name, and some of you are probably from different places. What will make this meaningful for me is to know something about each of you. This is the
Mhm.
same with vocabulary. If you
Mhm.
just have a bank of vocabulary words, that is all that you have. You have a bank of names.
Mhm.
To make this beneficial, what has to happen is that you will need to use the vocabulary. You will actually need to use the vocabulary. So let me ask you, is it Noor? Is it Noor? Write
Summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
Summer, write 2 words in the chat box, 2 words. And Shima, I want you to tell me what those 2 words are that she's
Okay.
write 2 words in the chat box. And I'm going to share with you how to learn these words. And every one of you that is here today will benefit from that.
So Summer, we're waiting for you.
Okay,
Write any 2 words.
you need 2 words. Okay, what else is in the chat box, Shima?
I don't know, maybe Summer isn't here. She's here. She wrote progress and health.
Okay, progress in health. When
Yes.
we talk about progress in health, listen at how I'm going to use these words so that it becomes at the cellular level in your brain. In
Okay.
order to make progress in
Mm-hmm.
anything, we must attempt to do something. We must
Mm-hmm.
actively participate.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if we want to have a good body and a good mind, we want to work on our health. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a process that we must employ to make progress. We may need to eat a healthy meal.
Okay.
That's progress. That's doing something. We have to
Mm-hmm.
do something in order to have something else to happen. So we want to make progress. When we go to
Okay.
school, when we go to the store, we have a plan. When we go to school, we know what we're going to school for. And to
Mm-hmm.
make progress with our studies, there are certain things that we do. If we want to have
Mm-hmm.
a healthy body, there are certain things that we must do. Now, I have used the word progress and health several times. This is what you will need to do when you talk about having vocabulary. So it isn't enough to demonstrate that you have the words. You want to demonstrate progress with those
Mm-hmm.
words. And when you feel good about what you have learned, you have a healthy opinion of yourself. Although there's many different ways that we could view health. We can view health from the standpoint of eating healthy, having a healthy
Mm-hmm.
mindset, and doing things to exercise our body. Okay.
So you mean that knowing a word isn't enough. You
No,
should use
exactly.
this word several times, not only once, many times.
Mhm. And,
Okay.
and what actually happens, Shima, when you use the
Mm-hmm.
word many times, the word will come across your brain in front of your eyes when you're talking, and
Yes.
you'll immediately know I'm
Yes.
making progress here. I'm making progress today
Yes.
because I've heard this word, I've used this word, instead of
Yes.
having a sheet of paper and you've learned 10 words.
Of course. Yeah.
But if you put those words into practice, and it doesn't have to be a lot of words, because what we find
Okay.
out is that when we have one vocabulary word, we can learn the opposites of that
Yeah.
word. And this builds your vocabulary even
It's a
greater.
smart idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. To know the word and the opposite of this word and how should you use it. So
Mhm.
here we have another question for Minna.
Okay.
Minna is saying that when I learn English, I'm so excited. But after that, when I don't see a real progress, I lose enthusiasm.
Very good.
So how to be enthusiastic and excited all the time?
So, Mina, that's a great question. That's a great question. And I want you to pay close attention to what I say today, because this is what you would want to model. Almost every time someone will ask something, I'm going to say, that's a great question. That's a STEM.
Yes,
And this is what you'll hear
yes,
people say on TV. That's a great question. And it is a great
yes,
question. But you need to
yes.
learn that, learn to be able to say, that's a great question, Mina. So now, I didn't make my notes, so I'm going to ask Shima I'm going to write the question down. Tell me her question again. Tell me what her great question
Okay,
is.
okay. So she loses interest quickly when she learns English. In the beginning, she's so excited, and after that, she isn't excited. So have to be excited all the time.
Okay. So Mina, that's a great question. And I'm going to tell you something like this. There are times when I'm just going to speak from the standpoint of an American. When we start to date for the very first time, this guy, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we're going to go out and eat dinner. We're
A
going to
great
go,
example. Okay.
we're so excited about seeing
Yes.
each other and doing things. Now, 3 years from now, I'm not as excited. I'm happy, but I'm not as excited as that first time.
Hmm.
So here's what I want you to remember, Mina. You have to understand your why, W-A-Y. You have to
Mhm.
understand your why are you learning English. If you do not have a strong enough why, Mina, to learn English, the enthusiasm, the excitement is going to go away. Let me give you an
Yes.
example. Listen to what I said. Let me give you an example. This is fluency. Let me give you an example. If you were going to go to college and you want to be a pharmacist, every day that you go to school, oh, I've got to go to school again today. Oh, it's so boring. You have a why. You know that if you don't go to school, you are not going to be the pharmacist. You're not going to get into medical school. So you have to have your why. Your motivation is going to come from that. Once you start to understand and accept your why, you will remain motivated. No, you will not be excited about it every day, but more days than not, you're going to be happy that you continued. When you get that first score, your grade, you'll see that you're making progress in your schooling, and that the enthusiasm will come. That enthusiasm will come
Yes.
again on the day of graduation, like, yes, I did. Okay. So hopefully that
Okay.
helps. Yes. Anything
I
else?
think it's a great answer. So I think it's okay. It's normal to get used to it. When you
Mhm.
speak English, so you get used to it. So that's why you lost your enthusiasm.
Ex-
And Dr. Priscilla told us a very important thing, to be motivated all the time, to think about why do you want to improve your English? Why do you want your English to be fluent? So you should have like a motivation in front of you.
Exactly. The motivation has to stay in front of you. And one of the ways that you can do this to help yourself to stay motivated is to have a system in place to chart your progress. Learning vocabulary is a good thing. It's a good thing. So you, and I take a lot of notes wherever I am. I'm always writing something down. Write down vocabulary words that you learn or that you've heard. Then tomorrow, see if you can use it 3 times. Put tick, tick, tick. You use it 3 times. Yay. Then the next day, see if you can use that word along with other words. And before long, you will be able to see your progress and you'll have a healthy attitude. Your mindset will be good. So let's invite someone else, Shima, to give me 5 words. They don't have to be difficult words, but words that you would like to use and you don't know how. And I'll start to use those words in our conversation as we proceed.
Okay, but here, Jadu Junior, something like that. He's asking what we are speaking about. Actually, we're speaking about how can you improve your English? How can you speak fluently? Okay, so that's our topic. And okay, I need anyone to write. Okay, so Jadu, no. Okay, so he wrote a question. I need someone to write 5 questions. Any 5 words.
5 words.
Any 5 words. Yeah, sorry for that. But until anyone writes the 5 words, here a very important question. Somebody is asking, is grammar important when I speak English? So what do you think about that?
Okay.
I want to know who wrote. Okay, it's Summer again. Okay, Summer again.
Summer. Okay, Summer.
Okay.
Listen at what I'm going to do. That's a great question, Summer. Do you see? You see how I'm saying the same thing? It's repeating, repeating, repeating. So, Summer, grammar is important, especially to the English language learner, because this is what you've been taught. I too was taught grammar, but I was taught grammar a little differently than the way that you've learned grammar, because I live in a native speaking country and grammar becomes automatic. Yes, I did have my little booklet that told me how to say things, but it was through the practice, speaking practice, that I would get it correct. So Summer, when you're looking at the information that is being provided by your teacher, you're doing something like fill in the blank, 1, 2, 3, ABC, and you're not getting the verbal practice. I would venture a guess, Summer, that if I were giving a grammar test, you would do much better than I would, because I didn't learn grammar that way. And here's the thing, grammar is important, but what is more important than grammar is to be understood. You need to have your tenses, and it's okay if you get some of your tenses wrong, like ED, the plurals, the nouns and verbs. A lot of English language learners will say he when they're talking about a she. My mother, he likes to cook. Well, that's wrong.
Your mother, he.
Yeah, but it's because you don't practice that you typically think in the male gender. But once you start to speak, it becomes automatic that you know that if you have 1 apple, Summer, it's not going to be I have apples. I have an apple, but it's through practice that you get to speak it. So don't give up on the grammar, but I wouldn't put too much energy and emphasis on grammar at this stage. If you're over 18 and you are able to understand grammar and you want to improve your English, I'm not saying don't study grammar, but it isn't necessary. You really need to practice. You need to practice. That's a great question. It's a great question.
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. So don't focus on learning grammar as much as you can practice your English. So practice your English. Maybe you can practice your English in a wrong way, but the most important thing to be understood, as Dr. Priscilla said.
That is correct.
Okay. So Ahmed Ismail, by the way, Ahmed is one of my students and he's very hardworking. His name is Ahmed, okay? He's asking, how many words a day should I memorize? It's a good question, Ahmed.
Who knows what I'm going to say? Mohammed, that is a great question.
Ahmed. Ahmed, okay?
What is it again? Say the name.
Ahmed.
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 Okay.
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 Trust it to my head, not my heart, if I say your name incorrectly. There's no quantity of words. If you can learn 1,000 words in a day, learn 1,000 words in a day. But I would say be realistic and practical with what you do. Learning vocabulary, as I say, that should not be the goal. The goal should not be to learn vocabulary,
Yes.
to be able to use vocabulary. One of the best things that I could suggest for you to do when you're learning vocabulary is to write it down. This will demonstrate your progress. Write down the word that you're learning. Then tomorrow, did you use that word? So let's just say right now, for those of you who are in this listening audience, write a sentence for me using the word progress or health or both, so that it will become ingrained in your brain today that you know these words. Understand me clearly. I believe that each of you here know the definition of progress and you know the definition of health. But is this something that you use? I'm helping you to develop useful vocabulary. Okay.
Okay. So I think the same idea, using your vocabulary that you already have more than once, several times.
Exactly. And even with the vocabulary that you currently have, you can work on using stems. Like, that's a great question. I know how to use progress. That's a great question. I know how to use health. So it depends upon what you want to do. Do you want to learn stems or do you want to learn one word? Use what you're learning today and add to it. So for example, now I can start, I'll change it from that's a great question. And I'm going to say,
Dr. Priscilla, I think your internet isn't stable, or mine, I don't know. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. It may be mine.
Yes, now it's good. Okay. So you remind me of something, Dr. Priscilla. Don't memorize a single word. You should put the word in a sentence or in a phrase or in a situation to make it easy for you to remember this word.
This is correct.
Do you agree with me?
I totally agree. 100%. You want to be able to use the word. Of course, you have to be exposed to the word and understand the word, then start to use the word. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Here's Ahmed again, but Ahmed, another one, Ahmed Nagar. He's asking, let's say, for example, someone, his English isn't good, his English is bad, and he thinks if he speaks English in front of you, you will shock or you will make fun of him. So is that true, that you will make fun of someone his English is bad?
That's an interesting question, and it's an interesting point of view. What typically happens, regardless as to who you are, what your belief system is, people are what you perceive them to be. People are what you perceive them to be. People are you. Yes. People mirror yourself. So if you are a person who makes fun of other people, then yes, other people will make fun of you. If someone is learning and struggling and giving it all that they can to learn English, that individual will not make fun of you. Let me just say this. They may find it humorous and bring a smile to their face because you're struggling trying to say this word and you're having difficulty, but they're not laughing at you. They're not laughing at you. They are championing you. They want your progress to move forward. Again, remember your why. Remember your why.
Yes.
If someone is involved, I love to give examples. If someone is involved in an accident
Mm-hmm.
and their legs are broken and they can't walk. The doctors have said that you will never walk again. But in my mind, I am going to walk. I am going to walk. And when I get on my crutches, I fall down. I get on my crutches. No one is laughing at me. People are hoping that I can do it. And this is the same with wanting to speak English. Make your mistakes. Understand your why. When you understand your why, the motivation is going to come within. You will not even see the people who might think it's funny. Okay.
Okay. I like your answer so much. So I'm gonna add something. You should believe in yourself.
Yes.
Even if someone, yeah. So self-confidence is so much important. If someone makes fun of you because he cannot be like you, they're jealous of you. Okay, so ignore them. You have a goal. You can do it. Okay, so be confident.
And Shima, the key is to remember your why. Why are you doing it? So when you're feeling unmotivated, go back to why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Okay. Yes,
that will keep you up. Okay, so here Ali is asking a question, which is because I know him, so I'm gonna, say his question another way. So Ali, by the way, his English is very good. Okay. But when he speaks English, he keeps saying, yesterday, like we have this actually in our language, in Arabic. So when we try to remember something, we say, I don't know for other people or other culture, but that's so common in Egypt. So what do you think?
We do the same in English. Listen to me, Ali. I want to tell you a few things about speaking English. It's not that easy to learn a new language, but if you really try, you can do it. Did you hear me say all of those ahs? So there again, it is recognizing your progress. With technology today, the key to doing great is having something like your cell phone. You have to record yourself. Then listen to what did you say? How many times did you use the word ah? If you use it 15 times, try to say it again and use ah 10 times. Do it again, use ah 5 times. Do it again, use ah 2 times. And before you know it, you will have eliminated ah and your progress is determined. So let me tell you a little bit, Ali, about a little bit of research. Research says that when you know your topic, practice talking about that topic. This is a great activity for everyone. So type in the chat some things that you enjoy doing. It could be playing basketball. It could be roller skating. It could be whatever it is, put it in the chat. Let me see what it is that you enjoy doing. Now, as you're writing, I'm going to tell you something. I enjoy sewing and making things, making clothes. I really enjoy making clothes. I can talk endlessly about making clothes. But as I'm talking, I can't find the words that I want to use if I were not a native English speaker. I couldn't find the words. So I would talk for 4 minutes. I would record my voice and talk about sewing for 4 minutes. I'm going to do it again for 3 minutes. Record my voice. Then I'm going to do it for 2 minutes. And when I get to the 2 minute, it should be perfect. It should be something like this. I really enjoy sewing. The reason I enjoy sewing is because I can save a great deal of money by making my own clothes. One of the reasons I enjoy making my own clothes is because I get to choose the color, blah, 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 blah. But initially I was going with the ahs and the hums. And so try that and you can do that. And you don't need anyone to practice with to do that.
Yes, because you have your cell phone, so you can practice that by yourself.
Exactly.
But I have a question for you, Dr. Priscilla.
Yes.
You mean to practice the same topic over and over, or to practice many topics?
No,
Mm-hmm.
one topic. So
Mm-hmm.
think about children, Shima, in the listening audience. Think about babies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what a cookie is called in your country, but you know, a cookie is a treat, right?
Okay.
And the
Okay.
baby wants mommy or daddy to give them that treat.
Okay.
I'm just doing it in English because I don't know the other language. But the baby
Mm-hmm.
will say, cookie, cookie, me cookie, me cookie.
Yes.
Well, I know that that sentence is incorrect, but I will say, do you want a cookie?
Mm-hmm.
The baby says, me cookie. But every
Mm-hmm.
time I'm intentional with my training, would you like a cookie? Oh, mommy wants me to say, would you want a cookie? So now I'm saying exactly what mommy's saying, which is still wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like a cookie? Now the mothers will say, yes, I would like a cookie. And I would stand waiting for my son or daughter to give me a cookie. The baby's like, something's wrong. And so mom will say, may I have a cookie? Then
Mm-hmm.
baby will say, may I have a cookie? Mom will
Mm-hmm.
say, yes. Oh, that's what I should say. May I have a cookie? So
Mm-hmm.
eventually, baby learns how to say things. But we're only talking about a cookie. If you're talking about sports, if you're talking about sewing,
Mm-hmm.
you want to learn how to talk about sewing or whatever
Yes.
it is that you enjoy talking about. Now, here's the magic of that, Shima.
Yes.
If you
Sure.
learn the pattern,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, I can talk the same way about sewing,
Mm-hmm.
a cookie, basketball,
Mm-hmm.
football, but you learn the pattern. This is what
Yes.
English language learners do with grammar. You learn
Mm-hmm.
the pattern. You don't necessarily know what it really means, but you'll learn the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have English language learners ask me, why is it, I don't know, there instead of your? Well, it's there because it's theirs. I just know
Mm-hmm.
that. But it seems like what type
You
of
don't know the reason. Yeah.
right? But you've learned it. You've learned a systematic way of learning things. I've
Uh-huh.
learned by putting it into practicality. You've learned
Okay.
it on paper. That's why you would
Okay.
do better on paper than I would. But
Mm-hmm.
no one talks with paper. People
Mm-hmm.
interact with conversation to
Sure.
be understood. Great
I
question.
have many questions. Wow. Okay, so Maha has a very important one, which is she is getting confused by phrasal verbs. You have
Mm,
many phrasal verbs, actually. When you
we
speak
do have
English, you use phrasal verbs a lot.
we do, and phrasal verbs will help with your fluency.
Uh-huh.
Phrasal verbs will help tremendously with your fluency. So you need to learn your phrasal verbs just like vocabulary. So ask her
Mm-hmm.
to type a phrasal verb in the chat box for me.
Okay, please, Maha, write a phrasal verb. Okay. So phrasal verbs and idioms are important when you speak English. Do you think so?
Yes and no. That's an interesting
Yes
question.
and no.
Yes and no. It's important.
Okay.
It's important if you're fluent. If
Uh-huh.
if you're not fluent, idioms do not make sense on their own.
Okay.
You have to understand the context of which you speak. So if I say, here's an idiom. This session that I'm in today, I've
Mm-hmm.
got the bee's knees for being here today.
What is this idiom?
Right. So
We
it's
cannot understand you.
right. But contextually, if I say I'm having
Uh-huh.
a great time, it was like the bee's knees,
Mm-hmm.
giving you a context that I'm
Mm-hmm.
someplace. I wonder if she meant
Something positive.
it's in this case, it's something positive, but
Uh-huh.
what comes to your mind is a bee
Uh-huh.
that has knees.
Yes.
So what does that mean? Bee's knees. Well, you think about what a bee does. A bee flies around, depending upon the
Uh-huh.
bee, gets pollen on its little legs,
Yes.
and goes and pollinate the other flowers. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. That's wonderful.
Okay.
So I'm having a great time today.
Oh, right.
Giving information to a lot of people.
Okay.
But if you don't understand what it means, it would be better for you to say, I had a great time in the session today.
Okay.
But
So I believe you mean it depends on your level. If you're fluent, you can learn
on the
idioms.
level. Because even trying to trying to explain this to a level 1, it would be difficult.
It's gonna be so hard.
It would be hard. So level 1 should not try to learn idioms. They can be aware of some, but maybe you know it's raining cats and dogs. That's just an old one.
Yes.
You know that it isn't raining cats and dogs, but it just means that it's raining heavily. But there are some that you just will not get. And even if you get it, Shima, and to the listening audience, even if you get it, it's like having the vocabulary that you don't know how to use. You just hear it, you know it, you've heard it, but you don't know how to use it. So it isn't of any real value.
Okay. Maha answered actually. She said 3 phrasal verbs. She said get out, get in, get along. Of course, you can say get out or get out. It depends on if you speak American or British accent. Get out, get in, get along.
And most of the time when I'm speaking, we say gonna, wanna, donna.
Yeah.
But I don't teach it that way because there again, I think that English language learners, this is my professional opinion, need to learn how to read it, how to say it the way that it is written. I'm going to. It's not, it is I'm gonna. I say I'm gonna, but if I'm talking to you, I will say I'm going to, not I'm gonna. So get out, get in, get along.
Yes.
What has to happen when you're using the phrasal verbs, and you need to know the phrasal verbs? It's just like vocabulary. You have to understand what it is and then start to use it. Some of you that are in this session today will have gotten in, have gotten in and you came in late, but you were able to get in on the session. Some of you, fortunately, I have not had to put anyone out, so no one has to get out of the session. So it's really having the opportunity to speak it so that it becomes at the cellular level for you when you're speaking. This is why writing and speaking is so important. Write down what you want to say. When you're in Facebook and you're responding to something, do more than just type yes, no, letter B. Type something that will require your brain to think. Then you're thinking in English. You will think a complete sentence. And if you are learning to write good sentences with grammar, you'll start to speak with good grammar, which is good. You may think, oh, my accent sounds so different than a native English speaker. There are people like Mahatma Gandhi, maybe Mother Teresa, Barack Obama. All of these people have a different accent, but they're fluent.
Yes.
So the key is it has nothing to do, it has very little to do with your accent.
Yes.
Shima, you have an accent, but you speak perfectly. So don't get caught up in the fact that, oh, my accent is keeping me from, it is not your accent that is keeping you from succeeding. It is your fluency. That
to
is
be understood.
Speak to be understood.
Okay. So here Nabil has a question. Okay, so I think we answered this question before. So Nabil is saying, when I start to speak, I feel very great. But after that, I stopped. So why he started well and why he couldn't end?
That's an interesting question.
Okay.
One of the reasons that you started well is because, Nabil, you are excited. You're happy.
Okay.
Then after a while, you start to talk and you've lost your vocabulary. You've lost the words. You don't know what to say. And that is not necessarily something that you can't correct, but you have to understand your why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to talk to someone in English? And go ahead and struggle through it. When you go to college or go to school and that first exam, you may not do well. You haven't learned the teacher's method of teaching. You have the book, but you just can't get the concept. And you score very poorly on the first test that you're given, but you are determined because you have a why. And the next time you have a test, you will do better. Again, when you're having these conversations, understand, where are you? If you're in the airport waiting for a plane, most likely when you go to the desk, the clerk isn't asking you, what do you want to eat for lunch? She's asking you for your boarding pass. You don't have to know what she's saying. You have to recognize where you are and respond appropriately. You may, for example, think she's asking you for your passport, but she's actually asking you for your ticket. She's not going to say, oh, you're just an idiot. She's going to say, no, I'm sorry, may I have your ticket or your passport, whichever one. Most people are not really rude. You know, I don't think that you, unless you are rude. If you are a rude person, then that's what you will meet. You will meet rude people.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so as Dr. Priscilla said before, just practice the same topic over and over. Okay, so practice is perfect, you know. So Minna here has a question. Yeah, what should she listen to? Should she watch movies or listen to songs?
That's a good
question. Interesting question.
It's an interesting question. I was trying to think of the question. Well, here's the thing. It's just like sports. You have to understand your why. Why are you watching a particular thing? There is no magic. There is no magic. There's no golden bullet. There's no whatever. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, that's what I would suggest that you do. If you like watching sitcoms on TV, watch the sitcom. Watch the sitcom for the pure enjoyment of laughing. Like, now that you've watched it, tell someone what you watched. Write in chat. Write in the chat. I watched this sitcom, not the name of the story, but write it out. Don't be lazy. Write it out. And this will encourage other people to write things out. I have a Facebook group, and I want to say that I tell them, if you want to improve your English, you have to respond, even though it may be an ABC question. I actually ask you to write a sentence for one of the ones that's wrong. Write out a sentence. That gives your brain the opportunity to think and do more.
Okay.
You're saying that, which is a very key component, that you want to know, how can you practice English when there's no one in your environment that speaks English? That, have you ever seen a baby in a room by himself or herself? They're just having the time of their life, playing with their little toy. This is what you have to become childlike and think in English. If you have your cell phone, my cell phone, just talk to your cell phone, not recording your voice, but this is a cell phone. My cell phone has a lot of features. I'm just talking about my cell phone. Just talk. Because what has to happen is you have to build the muscle in your mouth. You don't use your muscles in your mouth, the sounds will never come. The sounds will be sounds that you're accustomed to. So if I go, you probably don't do that in Egypt, or wherever you are. So you have to practice the sounds. Oh, no, 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 no. So this is how you find the sounds, by finding a sound that doesn't make any sense. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Practice doing something to build those muscles. Does that sound strange? Yes, but this is your why. Why am I doing this? Because I want to become better at speaking English.
So you mean that to practice your English, you should of course listen to songs, watch movies, but you have to practice your English, not only listening.
Exactly. But I would say start with one thing because you want to measure your progress. If you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you started, you don't know where you're going, choose one program, whoever the person is. I'm going to challenge you to do one class, to do one class with me. But you have to watch, tell me whether it's going to be an article, a television program. I want you to do one thing only, not two, not three. So ask her to tell me, what is she going to talk about? Is it going to be sports? Is it going to be about TV? Ask her now, Shima.
I forgot her name actually, but I think it was Maha, I think. But I partially agree with you, Dr. Priscilla.
Okay.
You said do whatever you're interested in.
Yeah.
But I think listening to songs is not going to improve your listening skills because there are some lyrics, you know, they're not real situation.
But is that something that you enjoy doing?
Oh, but I don't depend on that to improve my English.
Okay, but
I just like it.
Okay, but if you like it, who do you like listening to? Tell me.
Michael Jackson, for example.
Okay. I'm not saying listen to all of Michael Jackson's songs, right? Listen to one, The Girl Is Mine is one of his songs, right?
Yeah.
Find the lyrics on the internet. The Girl Is Mine. Learn those words. The girl is mine. I don't really know the song, but I know the song. When you learn those words, then you're going to take those words and you're going to say, the book is mine. This is not at your level. This is at a level that is for someone that is not at your level. You need to understand how you're actually learning. So, but for a level 1 person, that would be perfect because they can't say the girl is mine. What does that mean? The girl is mine. Then you're understanding that this is my special friend. Then you take the book is mine. This is my book. And maybe we sit under the tree. Okay. We sit under the tree and have lunch. We go to the park and have lunch. You're developing your sentences. So that's what I mean by find something that you enjoy doing. You're not going to be able to sing like Michael Jackson, but you're willing to listen to his music and you can say, the book is mine. I love looking and sitting under the tree.
So learn English in a fun way.
Learn English.
Not in a boring way.
Make it fun. Make it fun.
Yes, sure. Fun is a very important part when you practice your English.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So here Susan has a question. How can she improve her listening skills?
Okay, so let me ask Susan, what is she currently doing to improve her listening skills? What is she currently doing? And while she's telling us what she's currently doing, the best way to improve your listening skills is to start to listen.
Yes.
So you can listen to podcasts and or music. And at first you're not understanding what anyone is saying. But the more you listen to that one thing, learn one thing. It could be about space. It could be Michael Jackson's song until you can learn it perfectly, not singing it, but you know what the words are. That is improving your listening. And then you're practicing saying what you hear. Then another thing that you do if you listen to podcasts, as the podcaster is talking. So Shima, do this with me.
All right.
You won't talk at the same time, but you're going to repeat. It's called shadowing. You're going to say what you hear me say.
Okay.
Today I'm doing, you should be talking at. Today I'm going to do.
Today I'm going to what?
Okay, and it's okay if you don't get it. You just say what you think you heard. Today,
I need to listen to you first and then repeat.
No. You need to listen at the same time and
at the same time. Oh, it's challenging. Okay.
Yeah. Ready?
Ready.
Today I'm doing a podcast.
Today I'm doing a broadcast at 5 p.m.
Yeah. So this.
Okay.
This is going to improve your listening. And the more you listen and you catch my rhythm, you'll know that she pauses about every fourth word. Today, I'm listening to a podcast with
at 5 p.m.
Yeah, so you
Yes.
get my rhythm.
Wow.
Another thing that you can do when you're reading, it is a complete must. Everyone must do this. Again, find something that you enjoy doing.
Yes.
There will be times when you have to read things that you do not enjoy reading.
Yes.
But find something when you're learning that you enjoy doing and read it out loud. Because why? You want to build up the muscles. You want to get the sound. You can't read with your lips.
Okay, out loud.
You have to read out loud.
Okay, interesting.
And even though the accent is wrong, maybe the words are wrong, you're still giving your voice, your mouth, the opportunity
to
practice.
Okay, Hisham is asking, how do I know if I'm fluent or not? Maybe he's fluent and he doesn't know that.
Okay, I think that you'll know. You will know if you're fluent or not. And let me give you an example, Hisham. If it's raining outside and you are wet, would anyone have to tell you that you're wet? No, you know that you're wet. If people are listening to you and they're saying, what are you saying? You don't have to ask, am I speaking fluently? I think that you know. Are some people more fluent than others? Of course. So a lot has to do with how much time you're putting into it and your why. There are people who speak English, such as myself, but they can speak English much better than me. But I'm fluent. I'm good enough. Yes. So if you want to chart your progress, remember whoever gave us those words, progress and health, how many times I've gone back to that word progress. This is what you will need to do so that it becomes ingrained in your body, that it just comes across my head. Say progress today. You need to write down what it is that you want to do or leave out of your conversation, whether it's the ums and the ahs and things like that. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a moment and Shima, can we open up the open up and let anyone who wants to say something speak now?
Okay, I think Ahmed Nasser has a question.
Okay.
Okay, Ahmed, what if you ask your question to Dr. Priscilla?
Okay.
His name is Ahmed Nasser.
Okay, so I can't find him, but you can unmute.
Okay, Ahmed, I'm gonna unmute you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So Ahmed, you can speak. Unmute yourself. Yeah, Abu Hamid. Unmute yourself. Okay, so let's go for another one. Galaxy, I don't know actually what your name is, has a very interesting question. So Galaxy, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. And thank you for your useful information. Thank you very much. So my question is, how can I achieve variety in my speaking in terms of using different words? Because I know that many words have similar meanings, but they have also a slight difference. So how can I be fluent enough to be accurate and not to be lazy to use the same word each and every time? So
Awesome,
thank you very much.
awesome. And it's a great observation on your part to recognize that there are some words that you could use as opposed to the ones that you are using. Again, it is about your why. It is about your why. You can chart your progress. Write down words that you've heard that you really would like to be able to use. And in this case, I would actually need to ask you to give me an example of what it is that you wish to talk about and what words you would use. Oh, I have to say hello, Haas. So Haas is my most favorite student, and he
What's his name again?
Haseen. So Haseen, take a moment and introduce yourself, and thank you for joining us.
Okay, it's my pleasure, doctor. So hey everyone, it's Hussein. I'm 28 years old and I'm from Algeria. I'm a nutritionist and yeah, that's all.
Well, I am so happy that Haseen is here. Haseen has,
Yeah, and I'm over the moon to be here too.
yes, and so he's over the moon, and we've learned phrases, idioms, and things like that. And if he speaks more, you'll hear how he'll say things like what I've said. That's a great question. That's interesting. And these are the things that will build your vocabulary. But let's go back to those vocabulary. To ask me a question like that, you have to give me something like meat and potatoes on the plate. Right now, you're just serving me a question that I can't really answer because I don't know what it is that you already know. But in those words that you want to find a different word for, you first have to have the word. You have to know what the other word is. Then once you know what the other word is that you wish to use, you start to replace those words. So while we're looking at what other people might say, you can go ahead and put words in the chat, and Shima can tell us what those words are, and I'll show you how to use them interchangeably. Right?
Okay. But Hassan, oh, you unmuted yourself. Okay, wait a second. Can you hear me? Okay, I want you to unmute yourself. Okay, great. So I have a question for you here. So how long do you take to improve your English to be able to speak fluently? How long does it take from your point of view?
Okay, well, I cannot say that I've reached the level where I can speak like very fluently, but I've been working on my English for let's say 4 years now, and 1 year and a half with Dr. Priscilla. Yeah.
Okay.
And as I always say, I have to acknowledge that it's due to her genius teaching method that I'm taking pride in my English level today. So thank you, Doctor.
No, it's my pleasure. One of the key things that Haseen has said is that even before he met me, he had started his practice of learning English. He has a greater why. He wants to become extremely good at what he does.
Yes.
And he is extremely good. He
actually, your English is amazing.
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
Is amazing.
Okay.
So
yours is great too.
When he hears something new, you'll find that he actually puts it into practice. He says that he's over the moon. Again, if you're not sure of that idiom, what does that mean? The moon is in the sky and I'm down here on earth. What does it mean? Haseen, what does over the moon actually mean?
Okay, when you tell someone that you're over the moon or you're exalted, it means that you are so happy.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So he used the idiom that he just learned. He practiced, I mean.
He's learned that one. He's learned that one a long time ago. He knows many more.
Okay. Good job. Good job, Haseen.
Thank you.
Okay. So
does anyone else wish to speak? Open your mic and speak. And I want to share with you this. Every opportunity that you get to speak with someone who speaks English, jump on that opportunity.
Yes.
Don't sleep on it.
Don't hesitate.
Right, Hassan? Don't sleep on that opportunity.
Yeah. Ditto, Doctor.
So he said ditto. What does ditto mean, Haseen?
Okay.
Yeah, ditto is one of the words that I learned from Dr. Priscilla too. And it's spelled D-I-T-T-O. And it means that I totally agree with what she has just said.
Okay, amazing. So amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anyone wants to participate, please raise your hand. So I'm gonna let you speak. Okay. So here we have Nashat. Nashat, can you please unmute yourself? Hello?
Hello.
Nashat, can you hear us? Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Thank you for for this meeting, this benefit meeting, and I appreciate you, Shayma, and Dr. Basila, and everyone
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. My question was, I can read English and write, and I have a good listening also. But
Mhm.
when I speak for a long time or in a long conversation, I face difficulties to order the words or the
Mhm.
sentences. So I can't fix this problem. I'm trying to fix it, but I face difficulties.
Okay, as I understand what you said is that when you're in conversation, you start out strong, you can participate, but as the conversation goes on, you start to not know what to say or the words don't come. Is that about right?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you, give me a situation where you give out of energy, you give out of steam. When does that occur? Is it at work? Or is it when you're out with your friends? When does this take place? When has this happened?
Yeah, actually with my friends.
Okay. So what actually happens is that, in my opinion, is that if you give out a steam, it is because you are trying to engage in a conversation about something that you're not 100% vested in.
Yeah.
So if you're talking, what do you enjoy doing? What do you enjoy doing? Do you like sports? Do you like TV? Do you
Yes. Good.
Okay, so when you're talking about sports, if you're talking about sports in your native language, talk about it for a long, long time.
Yes.
Okay, then the people that you're speaking with in English, your friends, do they speak English?
Yes.
Okay, then there
For me,
should, in my opinion, as I listen to what you say, one of the things that I want English language learners to know is that it's not important to try to impress your listening
Mhm.
audience,
Mhm.
just to speak. Let me give you a good example. When I work with students who are taking the IELTS and the TOEFL and the CELTA, all of those exams, no one really cares how impressive you are. We just want to hear you speak. The examiner doesn't care what vocabulary words you use. You have to use some vocabulary words of high level, but it doesn't have to be from Shakespeare. That's just to say that you want me to know that you're intelligent. Well, I know that you're intelligent. If you paid money to take this IELTS exam, you are intelligent. Now answer the question that is being asked. When you're with your friends and you're talking about sports, do not try to impress them. Engage in conversation. If they ask you a question, answer the question. And when you have exhausted that topic, don't talk about it anymore.
Mhm.
Because if they can't give you anything else to add to the conversation is over. So that's like, Haas, is that like beating a dead horse?
yeah.
That's so true, doctor.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's a good
it's
one.
like beating a dead horse.
It's beating a dead horse. So you should just let it go. So don't
Mhm.
concern yourself about, not having the words, as long as you know the topic. And this is really related to business. When you go into meetings and you think that you don't have the words to say,
Mhm.
either you don't know what the purpose of the meeting is, or you're just so focused on yourself
Yeah.
that you can't think what to say. I don't know how to tell you to take the focus off of yourself, but I can say you just need to practice understanding why are you going into the meeting, and make a point of writing a question down and asking your question, no matter whether you know the answer to it or not, ask it anyway. That's how you get the respect of the people in the organization. Oh,
Mhm.
Lashat, ask a question. Oh, we've never heard him speak before. Then you'll
Mhm.
get more opportunities to express yourself. Again,
Mhm.
not to impress, but
Yeah.
just your voice is important. And you want
Mhm.
people to recognize you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
So I
do
was
you
just,
have
Thank
another
you.
question?
well, I was going to say, as Haseen is responsible for a lot of things at his job, how important is it for your voice to be heard on your job, Haseen?
Um, uh, Well, doctor, honestly, English is not really used in my place of work,
Okay.
Mhm.
but by the time you are able to own your voice and to convey the message you want, whether in Arabic or in any other foreign language,
Mhm.
Mhm.
it's enough, doctor. I believe it's something big, it's something huge. And when you were talking about owning the voice, I remembered the famous saying of Keisha,
Mhm.
and Keisha is Dr. Priscilla's friend, and it says that being brave is feeling the fear, but doing it anyway.
Exactly.
So
Feel the fear
it's
and do it.
totally, it's totally normal to feel like terrified and scared when every time you start to speak with people that you've never met before.
Mhm.
But what's more important is to know how to overcome that fear, and to know to how to face your fears and to beat them. So yeah, that's it's something that I always follow, and
Mhm.
it's always been so useful for me.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Hassan. Now, before we
Thank
go, I
you.
want to tell everyone here, when you're saying that you do not have someone to practice with, there are, how many people are here? At least 20 people are in this group right now.
Mhm.
Some of you are passive. And what I call, so Haas, I'm going to let you talk about the
Works.
spoons and the forks, but you're very passive. And if you remain passive, you're not going to learn anything. But what you could do in your Facebook group, you could actually gather together 5, 10, however many people, you know the time of day that is best for you. I can almost assure you that someone will have the same time of availability to practice with you. It is okay that neither one of you, none of you could speak English well, but you're practicing and exercising your voice. Okay. So that's key, that you exercise your voice. You can go into a chat room or I guess a WhatsApp. I'm not available for that. But when you say you don't have anyone to talk to, there are all of these people right here today at this very moment that want to practice English with someone, practice with each other. This is just
Yes.
so perfect. Now,
Yeah.
Haas, we're going to close, but Haas, talk about the forks and the spoons, please.
Forks and
Okay.
spoons.
Forks and spoons.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah. When
I'm
you hear
sorry
the
for
okay,
Nashat?
Stalkin.
yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but the doctor said there is a group on Facebook for practicing English. I want to know I
Okay,
want to know the name.
It's
I'm
right.
gonna send it. I'm gonna send the link. Okay.
Okay.
No, 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 no,
Okay.
no, 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 Shima.
Okay.
That's not what I said. I said this group right here.
Oh, okay. I thought
There
he
are
was speaking
1, 2,
about your group.
5,
Okay.
10, 15, 20, 25. There are 25
Mhm.
people right here. Find 5 people here and say, Galaxy, Hisha,
Uh-huh.
Samar, Sarah, can we get together? Because all of
Okay.
you are here for the same reason. You're here to
Okay.
learn English. You can
Everyone
join
is
my group.
interested in English here.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would love for you to join my group, but my group is not what I'm telling you all to do. I say the
Okay.
same thing to my students.
Yeah.
Create a group with amongst yourselves and start to
Okay.
practice English. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, Hassim.
And yeah, and even if you don't have a partner to practice with, you can practice with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like stand up in front of the mirror and
Mm-hmm.
talk to yourself. Imagine that you're in a difficult situation where you have to give solutions to speak in English and
Mm-hmm.
solve the problem.
Yeah. It's so funny, you know, it sounds
Okay.
funny to speak in front of the mirror, but of course it works.
And you have to remember your why. Why are you
Yes.
doing it?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Haas, talk about the forks and the spoons.
Okay. Um, um,
This is what
me
I
and
call
Dr.
the people.
Priscilla used to use those two terms to describe people that come to the group without adding up anything to the group, and those are the forks. They just take informations without giving back anything else. And spoon people or spoons are people that contribute and all the time try to be active in the group. So those are our own terms, me and Dr. Priscilla.
For my group. When I ask them to do something, they
Yeah.
just come as a fork. A fork has 4 prongs. They just come and
Mhm.
take. They put as much as they can on each little fork, and then they go away, never to return. But the spoons, Haas is a spoon. Haas comes with something, and he drops it, and he takes something away that increases him. So which are you? Those of you that are listening today, are you a fork or are you a spoon? You want to become like Shima. Shima is amazing. She's dynamic and very engaging. So I want to say thank you so much for having me today. I hope that
Yeah,
the
thank you.
information that I
Yeah,
have recording is
it
beneficial.
was a very useful session, and I hope you get benefit from this session, guys.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks,
Okay,
everybody.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks.
doctor.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.